takes me
Sounds
a
good.
second. All right, here we go. So I'm so excited that everybody is here tonight to, just hop on and learn a little bit more about, oh, there's my reminder. I've been reminded. So do you want me to get started, Tanya, or do you want to start off?
Yeah, sure. You can go ahead and get started. Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So I started my journey. Gosh, it is actually going to be, it's 4 years ago this month that I decided to make a commitment for a change. And I've actually been super overwhelmed with that this last week, just thinking about where I was 4 years ago. I think each January that I have my anniversary, and I am reminded that 4 years ago, I needed to make a change. I needed something different in my life. And um, what's kind of cool is Beachbody sends you a gift for each year that you're on your journey with their supplements. And that's the other thing, that when I got my cup in the mail a couple of days ago, it reminded me that I started my journey without any type of coaching, without any type of community. And I was able to do it that first year without community. But that next year, I took a leap of faith and found a coach and reached out to somebody, went out of my comfort zone, and everything changed when I got into that community in a big, big way. And so that next year, I really started focusing in on my nutrition more, building relationships with the women on our team, just living a different life. And that next year, I wasn't coaching. I was a discount coach because I loved the supplements and I loved all of the things. But when I got that 3-year cup or a couple days ago, it just reminded me, like, that first year kind of doing this alone and just, trying to find my way. And I'm actually really proud of myself that I continued on without that community, because it was a hard step for me to say yes to myself. But that next year, building those friendships, building those relationships meant so much to me. And now it's like, I can't even imagine looking back and being where I was 4 years ago. I can't imagine. I look at the pictures and the transformation is so, it's powerful for me, because I look at the picture and I see the girl in the picture, but I also know what the girl in the picture felt like 4 years ago. I know mentally where she was. I know physically where she was. I know everything about her, right? And it's not who I am today. The transformation is so much more than losing the weight and bringing in healthy habits into my life. It's about my spiritual journey. It is about my journey with my nutrition and just learning to have a healthier lifestyle, but to not try to be perfect. I was listening to a book today that was really amazing, because it talked about when we make that change, we decide that it's time and I'm ready to make that change, that we don't have to be perfect. And I think we all in our minds think that when we say yes to something, it means that, oh, okay, well, I can't make any mistakes now. Like, I'm either all in or I'm nothing, right? But what I learned over the 4 years is I don't have to be all in. Like, I can be little by little, gradually learning. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to, and when I fall, the next day I just get up and get moving back again. Like, one little fall doesn't mean that I have to roll down the whole mountain. It means, oh, I stumbled and let's pick myself back up and move on. And so I guess tonight, and it's kind of funny because this is not usually what I talk about, but I've been writing so much and just thinking about my story and where I've come from. And I just feel like that's so important tonight to share, is that it's such a growth journey on the inside too. And for me personally, where I was and that girl that I was 4 years ago would never have logged onto this call tonight and even thought about sharing my story. That girl 4 years ago never in a million years would have invited anybody to this call, because she would have been too scared to hear somebody say no and feel that rejection. And so I just want you guys to know that as far as like this journey that we're on, it's a journey of so much more than just your health and fitness. It is a mindset journey. That our newest program that just came out is totally about mindset. It is totally about affirming who we are as a woman, who we are as a person. Even my kids are using those daily affirmation cards, and I have seen a change in their spirits this last couple of weeks since we have been picking those cards. And I think it's important for you to know that it's about more than just one or two areas. So that's a little bit about my story. It's not really always what I usually share, but I feel like all of that is really important to share tonight. So
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, she put her mute on. I'll go ahead and share a little bit about how I got started, just so you guys have a little bit of a little bit of background on kind of what Christy was saying, how it doesn't have to be all or nothing. In fact, when I first started, I started back in 2013. I started as a boot camper. I started because I tried to do this on my own. It wasn't successful. I even had like the workouts, but it wasn't successful because, unlike Christy, I did need the community. I needed that accountability. I thrived off of working with other people and seeing success with them and cheering them on. I thrived that way versus doing things on my own. And so I joined a boot camp, and I wasn't a discount coach or anything at that time. And my coach offered, and she said, "You would be great. Do you want to join our team? You love encouraging people." And at that time, it just wasn't the right time for me. I was so busy with trying to graduate, trying to move, deciding what was going on with my relationship. My now husband and I had been together for years, and we were deciding if we wanted to move from Minnesota to Illinois. It was crazy time. And life happened, and I continued on with boot camps. But then after a while, I ended up kind of doing my own thing, because I got to a point where I was working like 2 or 3 jobs. Anyway, in 2015, life got really, really hard. And a lot of you probably who already follow me already probably know that that was the year that my dad was diagnosed with cancer. And I just stopped taking care of myself and focused solely on my family and solely on getting back home, because my dad was up in Minnesota getting treatments at Mayo, and I was down in Illinois. So I was taking Spirit flights like every weekend, just trying to see him, trying to be there, because I felt guilty being away from my family while he was doing treatment. And let myself completely go. And I put on like 30 pounds during this time, just not taking care of myself. And my dad passed away 3 years ago today. And sorry, today's the anniversary of his death, so it's a little hard. But in his death, I didn't fix anything. I continued that pattern for another 1.5 years until I got a physical that was like eye-opening. I was in high risk categories for blood pressure, cholesterol. My waist everything was just getting really bad. And that physical was like a slap in the face. And I remembered, oh yeah, that boot camp that I joined years ago, that helped me. And I remember she mentioned, if you love doing this, have you ever thought about coaching? And I thought, I was starting to feel burned out in my career, and I was feeling this low. And I thought, what if I just said yes to that? I would hold myself accountable. I already know it works. And so I decided in April of 2018, I was just going to dive in. And a lot of people I talk to will say, well, I want to wait until I'm at my goal weight, or I want to wait until, I really want to get focus on me first, and then I want to coach. But you guys, I started at the lowest point in my life. I started 30 pounds overweight. I started when I was really in probably the worst place I could be grief wise. And the reason that I feel like coaching has been successful for me is because I surrounded myself and I leaned in into this community. And then I put myself out there, and it really held me accountable to work on my personal development. It held me accountable to show up for my workouts. It held me accountable to show up for the community. And in doing that, I really saw these results happen with my mindset, with an income progression, with my physical transformation. And it just kind of progressed from there. And then from me seeing results and then seeing it from other people, like with Carly or with any of the other girls in my boot camp, Mara's starting to get excited about her workouts again. That fuels me and makes me want to keep going. And so I really coach for a selfish reason, first and foremost, is because I needed my health back. I needed to feel like me again. And it's really helped me through that grieving process. And then secondary, I love helping other people. I'm a social worker by trade, but I love the positivity and the environment of coaching where I get to help other people feel this way. And so that's why I got started. I'm sorry to kind of get all emotional on you. Today is a pretty significant day. But there's nothing else I'd rather be doing than talking about how this has impacted that grief journey, and how I feel so grateful to be able to touch so many different people's lives while working on myself. The income is a wonderful thing, and there's so many opportunities with that, but those are my primary reasons why I do this. So I'll leave it at that. That's really the main, the gut, the real gut transparent reason why I love this is because of how it's helped me, and how I get to see every single month after month after month women reaching out and saying, thank you, this has changed my life. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. And Christy, I'll get back to you if you want to move on to the next thing. I feel like I could go on and on and on.
No, I'm so sorry. I had children interrupting me, and I don't know if y'all heard the door knocking and knocking and knocking. And
It's okay.
so if when I was talking, my train of thought seemed like this, it was the door knock.
Oh, you're okay.
No. Did Stephanie or Carly, did either of you want to share a little bit of your story tonight, or no? It's totally up to you, ladies.
Sure, I'll share.
Carly, I was going to say, I think Carly wanted to share.
Yes,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. I know that we're recording this, so there are people that will receive this call later on tonight. So we just want to be mindful of that for everyone to be able to share as well. So.
Hi guys. So basically I started 2 years ago in a random boot camp of random people that I really didn't know. And I was 169 pounds. And I know that the scale doesn't really matter, but it's how you feel. But I felt awful. I felt heavy in my soul. I felt heavy in my body. I was trying crazy ways to lose the weight before I found Beachbody. I found that I was restricting a lot. I was eating one meal a day and still not losing the weight. My doctors were concerned. I was concerned. A lot of the reason why I was restricting was because I was in an abusive relationship, and the guy that I was with at the time was basically saying, like, you better work out, you better lose the weight, or I'm out. And thankfully, I got the self-confidence to leave that relationship and find a community that works for me. And so my middle school friend, Marjorie, was like, have you ever tried this Beachbody thing? And I was like, oh, thank God, somebody's reaching out. And I joined her Fit Fam, and we did our sweaty selfies every day and drank our Shaco every day. And I just was checking in constantly. And I just really noticed that it was about showing up and doing something consistently, and not how you looked or not what the scale said. And that was so refreshing to me, because I finally had a group of men and women, there were men this time in this group, that were saying, go Carly, just for drinking my Shaco that day. And when I slipped up, it was okay too. They had my back. And then I found Tanya, and she saw me on Insta, and she saw me burning out slowly, basically as an SLP and becoming a BCBA. And she saw that I was this servant. She saw that in me. And she saw that I wanted to help people, and that I had lost the weight, 55 pounds, in fact, healthily, and through this amazing group of women, and said, would you ever be interested in coaching? And I thought she was nutso. And I was like, I don't know. I just started this 2B mindset thing, and, I did lose the weight. And then I finally was like, okay, no, Carly, you love helping people. I mean, I work with children with autism, and obviously my heart is huge. And so I said yes. And my friends started to me for nutrition advice. People started showing up in boot camps. I have several people in boot camps now, and it's just, yeah, it's really, really cool to see, because they're starting to also have these transformations, physical and otherwise. I mean, my newest boot camper is on fire. She checks in every day, and she's physically showing differences, and she's mentally showing differences just with her consistency. And I love, love, love that I helped at least one person do that. It was, I mean, again, I started for selfish reasons because I wanted to feel better, but now I'm in this beautiful community of women that literally helps me, and we help each other through thick and thin. I mean, the Shackleys, for example, are such a light for us, showing us exactly what to do in the hardest times possible, our upline coaches. And they're such an inspiration, and you guys are such an inspiration. And I just could not be more blessed to be in such a beautiful community of coaches.
Yeah. And you're rocking the leaderboard this month, girlfriend.
Thank you. I try.
To see your name up there, I was like, she's doing it. She's helping people. So fun. It's so fun.
It is. It really is. I mean, my life has changed for the better. And I look at each and every woman in our group, and you can just see how they show up in their lives. And it's so inspirational. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
They have all different journeys. Every single one of them have different journeys, but they show up every single day with Morning Meltdown, with Bar, with Shaco, with all different things across the entire nation. And we still love on each other.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I love it. We got West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, Southern. It's
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we got Puerto Rico. It's just like, it's crazy to think that we were all able to connect into one space and support each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Carly. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight too. We were actually chatting before we started the call, and that's one of the things that is super neat about our community is that all of us are from different places. Like even the coaches on my team, we're from all over the US and hopefully eventually Canada and the UK. I do have UK customers. So it's just, and Canadian customers. It's really interesting because we never, those of us that are here on this call tonight wouldn't even know each other if it wasn't for this opportunity to be part of this community. And it really is important. One of the things Tanya said, that she really needed the community. So did I. So I was able to do stuff that first year, but what I was able to do that first year compared to these last 3 years is so very different. My story that first year was a huge struggle because I didn't even know what I was supposed to really be doing. I was just doing it on my own. And once I realized all the tools and the resources that we have, because I was just handed a set of DVDs from a friend, so I had no resources. So once I realized all the resources that Beachbody had to offer, and then to add that with the community that we're part of, was just exactly what I needed. And so I just want to make sure that that's clear, is that community for me was a super huge key to my success, but I just didn't even know it existed. And that's one of the reasons why I send so many invitations to people, because I want them to know about it, because nobody ever sent me an invitation. So, well, I guess my girlfriend at work, but she wasn't even a coach. She was just somebody that was doing the program. So, I think it's important as coaches for us to remember that, is that there are people just like us that I never got an invitation. What if I had gotten one 6 or 7 years ago? I probably wouldn't have been ready, but who knows? You know what I mean? So what we do is important, and we're helping others, and it is a huge mission. Servant's heart, like Carly was saying. I mean, we're here to serve other people, and it is such a blessing that we have the opportunity to get to do that every single day, to serve others, to wake up and say, how can I help somebody today? So
should we go over like what a daily task, or like what like the bat kind of looks like, or what we would be doing as a coach, like those kind of different
sure.
tasks?
Absolutely. So a couple of the things that basically we have a sheet that Beachbody provides. I don't have my stuff here in front of me, but one of the things that's important is for us to be part of the products, right? We're proof that the products work. And everybody here on this call tonight that is a coach has had results from Beachbody in one way or the other, be it I think all of us weight loss, but also just moving our bodies and preparing our bodies for movement. My body hadn't moved in years, except for maybe some walking when I started my journey 4 years ago. And so just working out is one of the vital behaviors that we have to do, is move those bodies, work on our nutrition, be in personal development. And I think that's one of the things that, for me, mindset, when I'm sharing my story, part of that transformation is because of the personal development I've chosen to read. And maybe I wouldn't have chosen to read those books had I not been part of this community. So we all share ideas on different personal development. And when I talk about that, it's not just business personal development, it's self-care books. I mean, so many different kinds of books that we've read. So that's a huge part of our business. And then sharing our story. Sharing what we do to get the results that we've had. So we share about our personal development. We share about our workouts. We share about our nutrition. So sharing is a very important part of the process. And then obviously connecting with people and inviting people Because if we don't invite people to this opportunity, just kind of like I was talking about before, actually nobody invited me. And I think of that when I'm sending out an invite. What if I didn't invite this person to join me? Would they be here today? And I think that's really important, even though it maybe for some people it can be a scary thing to do. Reaching out and sharing this gift with other people, because it is a gift, is just, it's a blessing for us to be able to do that and to give that gift and to allow other people to receive that gift from us. So, all right, what am I forgetting? Because you have the bat sheet in front of you.
So the company has done a wonderful job. They've done research, and they found if a coach does this and they continue over time, they will see success. That's what we're seeing with a lot of our coaches, that we have a runner's thread where we encourage coaches to follow this, and we're seeing that they're having more success that way. So on this sheet, it basically just goes through kind of the same things that Christy mentioned. There's 4 really main things. It's really working out, working on your self-care, the personal development, which I listen to. I use Audible, or I listen to podcasts, because I really I don't create the time to make reading a hardcover book a priority unless it's my devotional or gratitude. So you can listen. I listen to things. Celebrating people. So recognizing other people's success, which is one of my favorite things. You probably noticed in my stories today, I might have had a little dance party for Carly and Brigitte because they made it on our leaderboard, which is exciting. It doesn't just mean that they are having success and they are creating income for their own lives. It also means that they're impacting at least one person who now is impacting their family, who is impacting their coworkers, who is impacting, like for me, I work with students. We're impacting all those people. So it's really lives changed when I see that leaderboard, and that's why I get really excited. So celebrating. And the last thing was really inviting and following up with people. A lot of times I just do really basic, like, hey, do you want to join me in this? Or you seem interested. Would you want more information? It doesn't have to be like a scary invite, and it shouldn't be spammy, and it shouldn't be like this long story. It just can be simple, like you're inviting a friend to join something with you because you're offering that gift that Christy said. And that's really what all of this is all basically saying. It gives you ideas of what you can put in your stories. But honestly, when it comes down to like the resources, the company like overtrains. They have so many trainings, so many resources. And then as a team, we also have a self-paced mentorship so that you can go at your own pace, however you want. So if you want to run through it, you can run through it. If you want to take your time, you can take your time. And then Christy and I also offer a hands-on mentorship where we each day we have like a little challenge that we offer to really help you stay on task. And then beyond that, for anyone that really wants to create a business in this, anyone that really wants to be more of a leader, we have a runner's thread where we hold each other accountable with this sheet. So those are like the resources that we have. Those are the tools that we offer. If you were to join in our team, though, you'll never be left Chris for several years. Like I started in 2013 and then I started coaching in 2018, and we've continued to go along. It's not like we're just going to drop off the side of the earth. I know some people will sign up and they'll say, I signed up and my coach is done coaching like after a month. We've been doing this for a while. We love doing this. We're passionate about doing this. We have big vision and big goals of doing this long term. And so the cool thing is that we're going to be linking arms with you. And if you want to run with us, we'll run with you. If you just want someone to guide you along, that's fine too. We're never going to like push you into something that you're not ready for. And if you watch this and you're not ready yet and you still want to think about it, that's fine too. So those are like the resources and the tools. I think the next thing that I really like to talk about is some of like the fun incentives. And I think the company it's probably the best company that I've ever seen that likes to recognize their employees. By that, I mean, every single month, every single quarter, every single year, there are trips, there is swag, there is bonus cash, there are bonus cycles for weekly incentives. It's really, really done well on trying to recognize your success and really help guide you along.
Yes,
Uh,
sure.
yeah. Did you want to talk about the trips?
I would love to. I was going to say, so Tanya and I are headed to Punta Cana in March, and it's an earned trip. You have to receive an invitation to be on this trip. So I think that, for me, that's whenever a huge change came for me in my business, is when I got that first invitation. So last year I went on the cruise to the Caribbean and took my husband on a Caribbean cruise that I was invited because I was helping other people. And it was a wonderful trip. We have 2 little ones, so to get away, just the 2 of us, but we could have actually taken the kids with. So if it's something where you're looking for a family trip, we could take them with us to Punta Cana too. But again, we're using these trips as husband-wife trips, and I'm really excited about that. So to just kind of get away and reconnect and be with friends. So we are headed there, at the end of March. We'll be there for 5 days. So we'll be at an all-inclusive resort, and it's something that we earned. So, and one of the things we always say is like Beachbody, what is the little tagline that we're supposed to say?
Beachbody does not guarantee any specific
Yes.
level of income. It's
Yes.
really based off of your own effort and diligence.
Exactly. So just want to throw that out there. But
57 days.
Thanks, Tanya. But through Tanya and I helping other people the last year, we both received an invitation to this trip. And we're going, and we're going to have a super fun time, and you'll be following along with us on social media in March and be like, oh my gosh, they get to go to Punta Cana. I want to come with them next year. So the trip next year for the invitation is to Mexico. So another all-inclusive resort. So it's really neat that they offer those things to us because that's a trip that we had never been on a cruise before. So my husband and I got to go on our first cruise. It was incredible. Like, they treat you like royalty there. They have a specific Beachbody menu because they're going to try to have you making healthier choices. They had workouts every single morning with the Beachbody trainers, and then Shaco is just all out at the bar. So there's hundreds of different Shaco, just all over the place. It was awesome. So it's just a really neat thing. It was a wonderful time, and I'm so looking forward to in 2 months when we'll be together. It's just about 2 months from right now. Have you gotten your plane ticket? I got mine last week.
Ooh, I need to do that. It's 57 days and 3 hours away.
Oh, 7 days and 3 hours, Tanya. You need to get your ticket. So
I really do. Thanks for reminding me.
But we have great things too, as far as leadership conferences that they offer. So if you get to a certain place in your business, they will send you to leadership conferences. They have a conference for everybody that's part of Beachbody once a year in the summertime. And so that's a 4-day conference where you will be inspired, encouraged, cheered on, get to work out with the trainers again, and just be with your community. Again, Tanya and I, we're like besties from far away. We hung out at Coach Summit. We stayed together. We laughed and cried and sang, and it was the best 4 days that I had. It was girls trip, fun, awesome. So we're going to be doing that again in July, and are bringing our teams with us. Last year, that's a thing that Tanya and I said on our vision. We're taking a team with us next year, and I'm happy to say that we are. And we had teams then, but we didn't have team. Well, she had team that joined her last year. So, but I did not. Nobody could come with me last year. So I'm excited that we have some people coming along this year. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Super fun.
And you
Carly,
learn lots of stuff. That's the thing is it's such a learning experience. Like last year, Rachel Hollis spoke. It was incredible. Who is speaking this year? I can't remember.
She wrote the book that one of the books I'm reading right now.
Oh gosh, I can't remember her name, but
Got
I'm
it.
so excited. I was
She's
so excited.
incredible.
Yeah, to hear that she was going to be there speaking, and her name is just on the tip of my tongue.
Her name is Kendra Hall.
Yes,
and she wrote a book called Stories That Stick, and she's from Minnesota. So I'm excited because she's a Minnesota girl. That's where I was born and raised until I was 8, and that's where a lot of my family is. But she's a Minnesota girl, but the thing that I'm excited about her is her background is in storytelling, but she's very successful in what she does. So you know that when she gets on that stage, it's going to sink in, like everything is going to connect. She's so good. And I'm reading, she has a book right now. Can you guys still hear me? It says my internet connection is unstable. Oh, good. She wrote a book that I'm reading that's super, super helpful. So anyway, I'm really excited to hear her speak.
Yeah.
There's some other trip opportunities besides just the ones that Beachbody offers. We're on a team where we have 2 very successful uplines, like extremely successful, that offer us incentive trips. And so Christy and I will be going on a trip. We'll be invited on a trip at the end of May, and we could potentially bring people with us on that as well. And I don't know if they're doing the cruise or if they're going to do the lake house, but it's fun trips where we connect with each other, and it's just like a fun girls trip again. And I just love that we do those things, because I feel like I grew up in a family where it was always work, 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 work. And I never really took time off to do this kind of stuff. And now I'm taking time off to really like just have fun and connect with people. So I love that.
I love it too. It was just what I needed. It was like being placed on the team that I've been placed on, and around the people and the community and the women that have joined our communities. It's just like, that's exactly who was supposed to be there. And it's been so much fun.
Yeah. And then the super weekends. So every quarter, yeah, those are like really inexpensive ways where you can meet up with people in your community, and they host them all over the nation. And it's where you connect with people. There's usually like some storytelling of success stories, it's either business or transformation, physical. But then there's also this huge workout where you're working live with a trainer. And it's like so inspiring to be there in person with those people and connecting with the people in your community in person. And they do that every single quarter. So I think that's something that I love, because then I get to see the girls who are actually in our boot camp that are local. I would honestly, like, I've thought about flying to Kansas or flying to Texas for them as well, just to kind of reconnect with people. So yeah.
I went to Ohio last year.
Yeah.
And met up with Janelle and Kelsey and a couple of other girls, and we had a great time. It was so much fun. Just getting to meet people in person. Like, I'd been on this person's team for a year, but had never actually gotten to like talk with her one-on-one. So it was really neat and a fun weekend. We should totally schedule something like that sometime this year. So
Austin, Texas would be real fun.
I got a house. Who wants to come stay with me?
I would offer Chicago, but you would die in my house with my animals.
I can't. I have bad allergies, and my friends have cats, and I cannot live or stay in a cat house. It will kill me.
Yeah. And they're everywhere. So I'm trying to think.
Very sad. Otherwise, I'd come stay with you and you. And maybe you. Carly, do you have a cat too?
Dogs.
Dogs. Well, it depends what kind of dogs. But yeah, animals just try to take me down.
So I think the thing that we haven't covered yet is how to create income in the line of work that we do. There's like 3 different what does that mean? The word I'm thinking of is streams. So there's like 3 different streams of how income can come in. There's your typical commissions, and we make 25% of commissions or more. for everything that we're selling. But the cool thing is they have these things called cycle bonuses. So you can have an opportunity to create bonuses each week. They also have rank advance bonuses where they're giving you these extra bonuses when you rank advance. Then they also have, I'm forgetting one. What's the one that I'm forgetting, Christy? Oh,
Your
they have
team
quarterly bonuses. What's that?
Yeah, your team. Did you talk about your team bonus?
We have the team cycle bonus, the commission bonus, and then we have the quarterly bonuses that they offer as well. And that's a percentage of the company. So the company takes half of it for like their salary people. The coaches get to split the other half. And this is $1 billion company. So they really, really try to give back to their coaches for doing successful work. Just to give you an idea, that quarterly bonus can range based off of your rank, anything from like a couple $1,000s if you're like if you're like a 2-star, or like if you are someone like Janelle or Kelsey mentioned one time, her quarterly it can range between like 30 and 70,000. So it's just the income potential is pretty limitless when you start seeing what those quarterly bonuses are. If your goal is to really be successful in business, if your goal is to leave your full-time job, if your goal is to support your family, knowing that these are potentials, this isn't like dreamland. This is like what people are actually making when they move up the ranks. I watched our coach do this. I saw her start as a new coach, just like us, just like every other person starts as a new coach. I saw her work her way up to an elite coach, retiring from her job, retiring her husband from his job so they could be home with their babies and they could be doing what they love full time, now making 6 figures. And there's nothing wrong with that because they love it and they're successful at it. But I wanted to let you know, if that's something that you're interested in, there is that potential. It's not a quick fix. It's not a get rich quick by any means, but there is that potential. In fact, there is a delay in the business usually when you get started. It takes a little time to kind of get things rolling and get that income progressing, but there is that potential over time to create that.
And it's interesting that you say that it takes time. My husband and I were just talking about that tonight of, where I was this time last year and how my income has progressed from last year to this year already. And it's because you're helping more people. And the more people you start to help and the more people you're talking to and all of those things, that income progression is going to change if you're continuing to work or working harder and harder and harder. So the longer I've been in this business, the longer I have realized what it is that I need to be focused on and what I actually need to be doing most. And that's something that everybody learns and comes with time with any job. So I think, I don't think of this as a job, but I have learned so much about what I need to do with my work and how it's best to help build this business for myself. And what it looks like for me might look different for other people as well. So always take that into consideration. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I think that's all good information. What else? See, one day at a time, y'all. Just take one day at a time.
I think going over how someone would become a coach, some people think that you have to enroll separately or you might have to stock product or keep product on hand, and that's not the case at all. That's something that I always like to mention if someone's thinking about coaching. You basically enroll as if you're a boot camper. Like you basically are just getting the products and the tools that you would need in a boot camp. And then from there, you never have to stock product ever. You really are just being a product of the product and sharing your journey. And the customer service takes over the back end of those things. So they are the ones that deliver the product to people. They're the ones that take care of if they need any flavor changes. The back end of the office would be able to do pretty much any of those things for you, and you never have to worry about that stuff. You can help someone get the number for customer service if they were to need it, but you really are there to be more of a support and encouragement for people. And enrollment can look different for each person based off of what your needs are. If you're not ready to work out and you just want to do a nutrition program, that can be your focus. That's what Carly was focused on for a while, just the nutrition. And I have so many people that just do that because maybe they're preparing for surgery. Maybe they're postpartum and they just want to focus on nutrition. There are some people that really want to focus heavily on the fitness side of things. And then some people that want to do combinations of both. But it's not like a crazy amount of money. I know a lot of people have like in this head that in their mind that it's astronomical amounts of money. It's actually less than what it costs, what it would cost me to go to my gym each month. Significantly less than what it would cost me to go to my gym. So I just want people to know that enrollment isn't like this expensive thing. It's just basically getting the products and moving forward from there. Anything else that you can think of that we might be forgetting?
No, I think that's pretty much everything.
I think so too.
I think we've gotten this down pat with our most frequently asked questions, answering before they get asked.
I like that you shared a different side of your story, though. I had never heard that side before.
Well, and honestly, I've just been really thinking a lot about it this week. And I think every January, I'm just going to be completely honest. I just feel proud of myself that like I'm still doing this. I even asked my husband, I'm like, are you proud of me that like this is like 4 years? And he's like, I knew that you could do it. He's like, maybe in the beginning I wasn't, 100% sure like what it was going to look like and everything. But yeah, I'm proud of you. And I'm crying, sorry. But my eyes are watering, so that's exciting. I've had allergy problems.
I was gonna say, is that from the allergies or is that from your happy tears?
No, they're happy. Well, no, just emotional. Like thinking of like truly where I was 4 years ago and how I was feeling and where I was mentally, just emotionally and physically. You guys, I'll never forget that first workout and how hard it was and how I was like, oh my gosh, how did I get this out of shape? Like, why did I let this happen to myself? So I've really been thinking a lot about that and how like I'm just not ever looking back. I'm not going back. And maybe maybe what everybody sees today is different than what I see, but like I just feel such a transformation and just so grateful and thankful that my friend brought me those DVDs because I don't even know where I would be today. And that she's like, oh yeah, they've got coaches. And I'm like all on Instagram trying to figure out who are coaches and what do they do and all that stuff. So,
You're so
oh my gosh, I made my nose run. My eyes are watering.
I love you.
Good. But no. And I think it's because in January, I really do sit and think about that. I think about it a lot this time of year. So
that reminds me of one last thing that I do want to mention before we get off. Besides the fact that I love you, because I've never seen you cry on this call before, so I know that must be like such a huge milestone for you. But for anyone that is watching this and thinks, I could never do that because I don't like to share about my story. I'm too scared to share my story. I'm too anxious. I worry too much what people think. I want you to know that both Christy and I started feeling that exact same way. I didn't even have Instagram. I got Instagram to coach. So I started with 0 people that knew me on Instagram. And I was scared to share my story. But as you can see how emotional and how empowering coaching can be, over time, you become that leader. You become that person that wants to share your story because you see the impact that you're having on other people. So I don't want you to think because I don't like that now that you won't actually love being able to do that and help people down the road. It's scary, and sometimes it still is scary because we are vulnerable and we are sharing our lives. But I feel called to do this. I feel like if you're on this call, you're probably feeling some kind of tug on your heart, some kind of tug to help serve other people. And when you're able to do that, you become this more brave version of yourself. Just like our friend Christy here, who has talked about being anxiety ridden, having panic attacks before posts before, and now she's leading a call, and she's going to be walking that stage at Summit in July. So we're going to have to keep our eyes open for her.
Yeah, keep your eyes open.
Your name's going to be on a banner already.
I know, it's already up on the banner. So I got it, last year when I was there and my name wasn't up there, I was like, my name. I'm going to walk and I'm going to see my name. So, but that's not really what it's about.
No.
But I'm excited that I get to see my name. Just like I'm excited, I tease my girls all the time. I'm like, hey, I did it for the t-shirt. I didn't really do it for the t-shirt, right? Like, but I love to get a free t-shirt, right? Who doesn't? I'm so excited about my sweatshirt that's on the way. I mean, I got excited about my little shaker cup that I got 2 days ago. I mean, little things like that can bring me joy too. But I know when I put that sweatshirt on, I'm putting that sweatshirt on because I help so many people. You know what I mean? And like that shaker cup, it's because I help myself. Like 3 years of Shako is a big deal because 3 years of Shako means that I have filled my body with good things. Not that there haven't been bad things from time to time, but good things most of the time the past 3 years. And for me, from where I came from, being through the drive-through all the time, pizza every single week. Not that I don't still eat pizza because I eat plenty of pizza still, but in moderation. And we don't have pizza night every week now. You know what I mean? It's just those little things. But that Shako cup just reminds me, like, I am doing the right thing for my body. This is what my body is needing, and I'm filling it with good things. So, and I got the free cup. No, just teasing. Oh my gosh, I got all fussy with my eyes, and now my nose is running, and I don't have a Kleenex. So sorry about the sniffling. I usually don't cry, but I am emotional.
I know. I've never seen you cry before.
I don't usually cry in front of people. So y'all are special. But everybody that gets to watch this later is special.
Any last words from you two lovely ladies? I mean, it's good to hear a different perspective. I'm sure you have different ideas and thoughts around some stuff too.
No, that's all right.
Nope, covered it all.
Tanya and I have enough words for everybody. So we like to talk. Right?
It's that Minnesota in me. I was joking to somebody about the Minnesota goodbye. It takes half an hour for any Minnesotan to actually say goodbye leaving an event. So, and that's a good day. All righty.
Talker. Maybe Texans are talkers. I don't know.
Minnesota is definitely, but well, ladies, thank you so much for joining the call. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Carly. Thank you so much for being vulnerable, Christy. Yes, let's do a little fun.
We need to do a quick little wave. Well, let's do a thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll end this recording. Call whoever your coach is that this call is being sent to, be sure to reach out to them afterwards and chat with them about this opportunity. So definitely want to reach out.